Oh, it's that man in a shirt, man in a shirt. It's that man in a shirt, man in a shirt. He is driving a car, not in a shed. He is driving a car, he's not in a shed. It's that man in a shed, man in a shed. It's that man in a shed, man in a shed. It's that man in a shed. There's the wife. See you, pals. Hey, Dom. This one's for you, sweetie. Yeah? Enjoy. Welcome to the car. Here I am, yet again. In the car. Maybe it should be man in the car, not man in the shed. Sun's out. Yep, that's definitely bright. Who knew? So, before we get started, a shout out to Owen. Owen is my cooking assistant. He is from off of Wiltshire, and I'm going to run some man over with a camera. He got out of the way. What a disappointment. That was nearly Def Cam 1 already. So, Owen is from Swindon, off of the Six Fingers. That's right. When he puts his middle finger up and when he drives into the road, yeah, need to start concentrating. There you go. Nearly took that one out. Never mind. I stopped. Maybe they should put the headlights on so we can see them a bit better, eh? There you go. I know it's still light, but a bit of brightness doesn't hurt. There you go. So anyway, what are we going to talk about today? We'll figure that out on the way as we talk about what we like about Owen. So what we're going to talk about today then, people. Did you see what I did there, Owen? So there he is, the little bit of a tipsy boy. He does like the older beverage. To be fair, used to work with Blandy. Blandy liked him. If he had a drink the night before, you knew it because he was bloody useless. Owen, he's the opposite, to be fair. He actually works better once he's had a couple of drinks and has got a bit of a hangover. Blandy seemed to fall asleep quite easily. And yeah, Owen actually seems to wake up a bit after having a beer. But you know, everyone is a bit different. There I am, half a sherbet, and that's it, I'm done. But there you go. So on our way to the motorway, see what we can get up to tonight then on the way. See what weirdos we can see. Sorry about that, I had an itch. I wasn't actually picking my nose there. I'll flick the bogey that way so you can't see it. Nah. Anyway, so there's I did hear something today actually, quite fascinating and quite interesting from a scientific point of view, if that is your thing. So these microbes have been found off of, I think it was Siberia. Yeah, Siberia. That's the chilly place, isn't it? Not Serbia. Yeah, Siberia, off of Russia. And one of the things you can do is, if you go deep enough in the ice, you can find out what that bit of ice was doing however long ago. Anyway, they've got this bit of ice which is apparently 24,000 years old. Always wondered how they're able to actually date that. Anyway, they found these microbes. So what they've done is they've defrosted the ice, and these microbes have come back to life 24,000 years later. So they didn't technically die. So it makes you think, how long would they last? They've lasted 24,000 years. They weren't breathing, they weren't multiplying or anything, they just stayed there. So it shows that bacteria can live a hell of a long time if it's given the right chance once it falls out to come back to life. So it does make you think, it is possible that on some of these frozen planets and moons out there in our solar system, there is a possibility, no matter how small, there could be microscopic life. We're not talking about multi-form organisms like ourselves, but microbes. And my word, has life got exciting if we're getting excited about microbes found in Siberia. But yeah, I thought I'd share that one with you. I heard that today on the radio. Bad news about COVID. We have had 13 deaths today, being Monday the, I'm going to say 7th, yeah, I think it's the 7th of June, Monday the 7th of June. I had 2021. There you go, there's my date, so that'll give us a rough idea. And in the last week, cases have doubled in the UK due to the Delta or the Indian variant, which is a little bit of a worry. Anyway, that's the bad news done. We're forget about that. So we're a couple of days now away from the Euros, which is exciting. Obviously, there's a few of the home nations there, but who cares? It's all about England. Wales, hopefully they'll do alright. I'm sure Scotland are going to lose all their games and go home early as usual, because, you know, that's what Scotland do, and they're rubbish and we don't like them from a football point of view. The same way we don't like them as a rugby team. The only Scot we really liked was Andy Murray, and when he's losing he's Scottish, and when he's winning he's British. So that's how we rate the Scots. They want independence. Yeah, go on then, off you go. See if we care. See how you get on without the money coming from Westminster, eh? Oh my word, it's all got a little bit political there. Oh, who saw that coming? Yep, once again, there you are. So, anyway, so, Dom. Hello, Dom. Hello, sweetheart. I hope you're well. Going to do this review that you were talking about today then. You didn't send me the details, but we'll do it anyway. So, Dom's got some sort of Fiat, allegedly. It sounds like a good car. This is the car which broke down on a motorway. He told me it was on a bend as well, so he had to push it. It's only a little car, but it was heavy, and I said, it doesn't matter what size car it is, pushing uphill, they tend to be quite heavy. You know, unless you're built like my body double Bobby Lashley, you're going to struggle a bit. Yeah, that's another thing actually. Monday Night Raw possibly has just had its worst ever segment on it. The show just seems to be getting worse and worse. What I'm thinking is they're trying to get it to be so bad that people might watch it just because it is that bad. Either that, or they are going to all of a sudden make it like SmackDown and make it unbelievably awesome. How can WWE SmackDown and WWE Monday Night Raw be from the same company? It baffles me. Raw absolutely sucks, and SmackDown, when I do see it, is pretty awesome. So yeah, that's the thing. And I don't really understand it either, because it's not like Monday Night Raw has all the rubbish wrestlers, because it doesn't. It has plenty of high profile, good quality, world-class wrestlers. They just don't want to use them in a good way, it seems. So yeah, there you go. That's the wrestling dealt with. So how do we rate England's chances in the Euros? We'll go back to that one because it really worked hard on that one. Personally, I think we could make the semis. No reason why we can't. I would say that this is the best England team we've had probably since Euro 96, but I would say it's a better midfield. The players in Euro 96 though, what they had was they had a bit of experience, plenty of leaders. Does this team have enough leaders? Does it have a big enough voice? Hopefully. COVID passports are going to be used for anyone over the age of 12, so either to show you've had both vaccines, or you've had a COVID test and have come back negative in the last 48 hours before the game. So there, that's good news. Apparently for the group stages, 22,500 fans. Wembley's a big stadium, but those fans are going to make a noise, especially as you've not been allowed really to go to a lot of football in the last year. There was a little bit back in, was it October, where 2,000 fans went to about half a dozen games, and then 10,000 home fans roughly on the last home games of the Premier League. season. And then obviously there was the FA Cup final and the Champions League final and the playoff finals. So yeah, we've had a few fans back for a few games, but when you think some people's life is going to the football, and they do that 2, sometimes 3 times a week, home and away, to all of a sudden have that taken away from you, it's a bit off, isn't it? You know, and it's what you do for your life is go and watch your local team or your team, whoever it could be. Could be one of the big boys or it could be one of the minos. It doesn't really matter. It's still what you do, and you know, you still love your football team, whether they're good or bad. You still stand by them. But yeah, you know, it's one of those things that's happened, and every fan from every team has basically been in the same boat. They've not been able to go and watch their football. So anyway, coming up then on Thursday, I'm going to start recording my 2 new series, which could be quite exciting. We've got the Versus series, already got 2 episodes recorded. What I'm probably going to do is put them out on a certain day, at a certain time. I will let you people know where and when you can get those. And so that is the Versus series. So I've already written a couple of episodes of that, and I've also got my True Crimes, which series 1 is going to be on 5 serial killers. So do we want to know the names of serial killers? Well, we might as well let you know them, haven't we? So episode 1 will be on Elizabeth Bafferty. Maybe not a name you're necessarily familiar with. Well, Elizabeth Bafferty is also known as the Countess of Blood. She was one of the figures where Bram Stoker got his idea for Dracula from. We're also going to be doing Jack the Ripper off of the past, pretty famous from 1888. Obviously not really going to be able to tell you who he is because he was never actually found, so you know, it's one of the world's biggest mysteries, who is or was Jack the Ripper. Also doing the campus killer Ted Bundy from off of America. And one of the things with Ted Bundy was he actually wanted to potentially become a what are they called? Oh yeah, there you go. The word is gone. Often happens. The word goes, and I hope I'm going to talk a bit now and hope that the word comes back to me. And in this country, it'd be a solicitor. That's the word. So he wanted to become a bar. So he tried to defend himself, and his body language was regarded as quite strange, the way he interacted with the jury. But yeah, this man was a proper psychopath. Dr. Harold Shipman, obviously famous for killing his patients and going against his doctoral oath, if that is what it's called. And finally, we're going to do Jeffrey Dahmer. So we're going to go with some big boys there. Also, I have recorded at home, so I might do an extra special one. I've recorded a program at home about Fred and Rosemary West, so might add that one in, see how I like it. I've used some podcasts there for reference and to get a few ideas on about them. Obviously, I'm not going to do an exact copy of what they say because that's perjury, and you know me, I'm going to shorten down the long words because I can't read them, can't write them. So, as I say, I do attempt to write it. Some stuff, you get off the internet, Wikipedia's full, try and find out as much information as you can there, use various different resources to get information. But like I say, podcast serial killers is fantastic. Off of podcast, whatever it's called itself. That's a good So I quite often listen to that, and people in the kitchen are like, oh, what is he doing? Why does he like listening to things about the Holocaust, things about serial killers, and then he finishes off by listening to some Slayer? Well, there you go. You see, that's the thing, you know. The more horrific makes you feel a bit bad, doesn't it? And it is a bizarre one, really, isn't it? How as human beings, and let's be fair, World War II was horrific, but the thing that most people will say about it was the Nazis were a little bit more interesting than certain other things. You know, D-Day was fantastic. You know, we won because of the bravery of men on D-Day, and I'm not by any means saying that what we did there was not remarkable, but the Nazis were bastards, and we mustn't ever paint them in any other way. But it was interesting, and when you go back to just after the First World War, even before the First World War, but just after the First World War, into the 1920s and then into the 30s, and how fascists and anti-Semites were able to gain power, make the whole of the German people and Russian people believe that the problems were the Jews and socialism was because of Jews, and you know they need to go. So not socialism, communism was because of Marxist Jews and Bolsheviks and all that. That's all down to the Jews, and the Jews, you know, I missed the train today. Well, that's probably a Jew's fault and things like that. To be fair, the one country which I think can, well, actually, a couple of countries that can take a lot of applause for their actions in World War II were, first of all, the Danes, who were actually one of the Nazis advised them that something would happen, and they let the Danish Jews know 2 days before that the Nazis were going to come and take them and deport them. But because they let them know and it was then passed on to them, they were able to escape to Sweden. Now, the way the Nazi who actually allowed this to happen, he wasn't doing it out of his heart. He was trying to do it because it meant that he didn't have to work quite so hard. What he said was, we will get the Jews out of Germany, and that's exactly what he did, because what he did was he allowed them to be taken from Denmark into Sweden. So again, well done Denmark, and well done Sweden, because you allowed that. Also, other fascists, the Italians, they actually protected quite a lot of the Jews, and they fought hard to keep them, as did certain Greeks, although the Greek Jews didn't last quite so well. There were certain pockets where they weren't hunted, a few of the islands where they survived, because there weren't enough on the island really for the Germans to worry about. So yeah, that was the quick rundown of who I think can be credited in the Holocaust. The Hungarians, they were basically, if you don't give up your Jews, we'll deport your family to Auschwitz. Yeah, okay, you can have the Jews. And yeah, you can sort of get that, because, you know, at the end of the day, you're going to protect your family. It's like when people say, oh no, these people, they shouldn't be allowed to come over on boats from across the Mediterranean and across the Channel. What these people are doing is they're escaping from nasty regimes, not too dissimilar probably to the bloody Nazis. And like I've always said, is if that was you, if that was your family, what would you do? Because I would like to think that if it was me in that position, I'll try and cross the channels. And you know, you do hear tragedies of families and children who drown. They are basically robbed of their wealth to get on a boat, and it's sad really how humanity try and basically rob the poor, make them poorer, promise them something and put them on a boat which isn't fit for purpose. And obviously once you've handed over that money, They're not going to give it back if it sinks, are they? And they don't care if you don't get across the channel. At the end of the day, you've paid them. That's all they worry about. People can be absolute bastards, and I think we can honestly say that these ones are bastards. And look at that, we've gone on for 20 minutes and haven't even really tried. Didn't really come out with a plan of what we're going to talk about, apart from how great Owen is, in his opinion. But yeah, I do like Owen. Owen is a good lad. He's a pretty good worker. You know, he's works well. Do have some good news though, of course. Today we got an EHO visit. We got 5 stars, which is great for us as a business. And you know, long may that carry on. It does mean that we're keeping our kitchens clean and we're doing the paperwork how the paperwork's supposed to be done, which is good. It does help, the paperwork, having had best part of 6 months off, means that there wasn't really a lot for them to look through. A couple of weeks and there you go. But you know, that's not my fault, that's just the way it is. And yeah, you know, we do what we can. Me and Lauren, you know, we put on the charm offensive, got the lady a cup of tea once she'd been in the kitchen, smiled and waved. There you go, my darling, have a nice day, hope you're well. And then she walks out the door, we stick our fingers up her, but hey, there you go. No, not really. No, she was a very nice lady and she appreciated it. She said that my freezers were very clean and very nice, and that's always a good thing, and pleased with that. Anyway, I'm gonna end it there. Hope you're all well, hope you're all safe from COVID and everything else is going well. Don't forget to leave a comment if you'd like to as well, and if you could share this video and do your review and share and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, that would be amazing. And again, I hope you're all well, and see you, pals.